Hello. Happy Thursday, you guys. Whoever that is, thank you for stopping by. Thumbs up the live if you would like. If you don't. And that will probably be one of the only times you'll hear me say that. Because I don't like to beat people up about that. See, as soon as you say that, people leave. You got to start being smart about that. I've been saying this for a long, long time, too. When you ask people to thumbs up the live, especially when you kind of command it or demand it, that they can take that as offensively, okay? They get offended. Because my thing is, I don't know why some people get offended, but if I want to think rationally or think from other people's perspective, try to do that, I think for me, it would be the fact that I'm watching you. So the thumbs up is just one of the ways to support, right? You can support by watching, whether you thumbs up the live or not. You're watching. Some people thumbs it up and they don't say a word. Some people watch and they don't say a word. They don't thumbs it up. Some people comment. You have some people who will comment who haven't thumbs the live up. Okay? But guess what? They're commenting. So they're interacting. So stop beating people up about thumbsing up your lives. Okay? Of course, you want them to give you a thumbs up. And there's nothing wrong with requesting it. I often say, please thumbs up the live, but I say it one time, maybe two, no more than 3 times, depending on how long the live is. And that's it. Why do I keep asking for something that people probably don't want to do? Those who want to do it, do it. Those who don't. Again, that's just one way of supporting. That's one thing that affects the algorithm. Besides giving a thumbs up, you can thumbs it down. You can say hello. Or you can just watch. For those who like to be shared, you can share them. There's too many ways to support. So you don't need to just beat people up about saying, thumbs up the live, thumbs up the live. Like, really? Oftentimes that runs people off. But it depends on the content creator, you know? Sometimes people just forget and they get reminded. That's a reminder. But what I won't do is like badger people about a thumbs, not about the thumbs up. If they're here watching, I appreciate that much support. Remember, you got to move with a purpose, right? If you're a couch potato or you're a beginner and this is your first time walking, your first day walking as exercise, that is, your first week, your first month, maybe this is your purpose. Maybe this pace is your purpose, a slow pace, right? Because at least you're doing more than you have been doing. At least you're doing more than you have been doing. If you're kind of used to walking for exercise, maybe a moderate pace like this is your pace. Depends on your mood, how much other exercise that you get in. You know, if you are really trying to burn calories, and it's about your cardiovascular, your aerobic fitness, just your fitness altogether, maybe you're doing like this, right? You're moving with the purpose. This is your purpose. We're moving up this hill, y'all. We're moving up the hill. Okay? Let's trot up this hill. When you got time to be playing with this hill, hey, Stefan, let's get on up this hill and knock it out. Pull, pull, pull. Imagine somebody pulling you. Imagine another person pushing you up the hill. Up the hill. Woo, you made it. You made it. Now, if you need to slow down and catch your breath, do so. But that incline of the hill, it's not always bad, because sometimes it's kind of more of a slope than a hill. So it's more of a slope. That's what their incline is. You got a hill, challenge it, push it, push it, push it. What's going on? Look, I got Stefan in here. My brother, Chef on his wine. Hey, bro. How you doing, Chef on his wine? Stefan in the building, Chef in the building. Happy Thursday to you guys. Happy Thoughtful Thursday. So we have to push those hills, y'all. Like I said, imagine somebody has a pulley pulling you up the hill, and somebody else is behind you, pushing you up the hill. Next thing you know, you've made the top of the hill. Hey, Lions Pride. Hey, my Lions Pride. Hey, 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 fellas. How y'all doing on this beautiful Thursday? I hope it's pretty wherever you are. I hope it's... listen to the birds, y'all. Listen to my birds. They're your birds as well. We know that they're God's birds, but I don't think he minds us claiming them. Happy Thursday. I'm doing amazing. Cool down. You cool down? I'm good, Chef. I'm good, bro. You cool down? Yes, it's really nice. It's really nice outside. I haven't heard of, this winter and early this spring, the weather was kind of tumultuous. Like, it was up and down. It was cold. It was hot. Like, really, really hot. Kind of hotter than usual for that point of the year. Sometimes it was colder than usual in areas that is not normally cold in. The weather was all over the place this winter and this spring. The weather was all over the place, y'all. I went back in, looked at my video. Hell, Chef, I told you. You were not playing, okay? You wasn't playing. I had to say, hold up, wait a minute. Let me see what's going on with my brother here. What's up with my bro? Look like, who has ruffled his feathers, okay? Because you, Chef, woo, but you was relaxed though. You was laid back. You were laid back, and you was putting it down. You was putting the hammer down, the wood down, you was putting the smack down. Okay, okay, okay. You wasn't playing. You were not playing. Stefan says, yes, I wake up, cut the heat on. Then at noon, I cut on the AC. See, I'm telling you, Stefan, the weather has been all over the place this past winter and so far this spring. Now, lately, it's been warm and breezy, which is a nice mix. You know, the sun has been out, but it's breezy as well. So that's a nice mix. That's a nice mix. Look at Chef. Chef, you went off. You hear me, Chef? You went off. You went in. You went off and you went in. Here go my little buddy. You hear him? Y'all hear? There he is. There he is. How you doing? Yeah, he's out here today. I didn't see him yesterday. I'm telling you. And then even now though, you're right, Stefan. In the mornings, depending on what state you're in, you need the heater on, and then by early afternoon, you got to turn the AC on. Like crazy. But my bro Chef Find His Wine had to get some straightening the other day. Okay. He was getting some straightening the other day, and I was like, wait a minute, Chef don't bother nobody. Chef don't bother nobody. And that's how it be though. That's how it be. You don't bother nobody, but somebody wants to bother you. Then your response, they want your response to be what they want it to be. Leave people alone. Right? Look at Chef saying nobody. Put Keith out there. That's how it be, bro. When you don't bother people and you don't bother anybody, they try to get a response out of you. Then they get the response that they don't want. Every action draws an opposite and sometimes not so equal reaction. See, I guess they expect for the reaction to be equal. But leave people alone. Leave people alone. If you're bothering people, leave people alone. Because you can't tell people how to respond. Okay? You cannot tell people how to respond. And then what be so funny to me is when you got those who want to tell you how or say how you should have responded. But they don't have ish to say to the one that was talking ish to you. Get the hell up out of here. Get the hell up out of here. But everything is good now, no issues, so that's all that matters. Exactly, Chef. Exactly. Everything is good, no issues now, so that's all that matters. And that's all the goal is to get to a point where there are no issues, right? So even when those little issues kick off, the whole goal is to get them to a point where it stops, okay? It stops. Some people know how to do that. Some people don't. Some people don't want to stop. Some people don't want to stop. And that's the sad part. People can have issues. Y'all look at those ant beds. Look at that. It's that time of year. And when it rains, sometimes they'll get in your garage. Hell, they'll get in your house. They'll get in your house. When it rains, those ants don't play. That rain pulls them out. They'll get in your garage. They'll get in your house. They'll get in your car. Especially if you're parked near an ant bed or something like that. You ants are something else, y'all. Y'all listen to those birds chirping, talking, singing, having a good time. Just mating. They're doing a lot of stuff. We don't know what they're doing. I know they sound happy, right? So that's a good thing. Most days when we hear them, they sound happy, right? So we know why the caged bird sings, and we know why the free bird sings as well, right? We know why they sing. But that's what I'm about, Chef. If there's an issue, the issue shouldn't last forever. Nobody got time for that. Nobody has time for that. Especially for people you don't really know. Stop it. And that should be it. That should be it. But you know, sometimes even when the parties want to stop something, you got outside agitation. So you just have to let that outside agitation just, ignore it. Ignore it. Sometimes you'll have outside agitation that wants to keep stuff going. Just happy to see somebody, in turmoil. Just happy to see people agitated. So they decide to add more agitation from the outside. So we have to be aware of that too. When we do have issues with people, we're grown. Nobody got time for that kind of stuff. And then the only reason it continues a lot of the times, it's not the fault of either party. A lot of times it's not the fault of either party. The reason it continues is due to outside agitation, right? So we don't need the agitation. We're about peace. We're about peace. Peace don't mean we got to be cool. Peace don't mean we got to be friends. Peace just means we got to leave each other the hell alone. That's all it means. So y'all look at the legs move. Look at the feet move. Watch the legs and the feet move. One foot in front of the other, one step at a time. Move with the purpose. We move with purpose. Work your body, work your body. Make sure you don't hurt your body. Work your body, work your body. Don't overexert your body. Right? Don't overexert your body. You know your fitness level, so start there. Whatever your fitness level is, start there. If you know that you are sedentary, you're a couch potato, look, just get up and do this. Do that. You're doing something. That's your purpose. That's your purpose. Your purpose doesn't have to be what your neighbor's purpose is. If your neighbor is like this every day, you don't have to be like that every day if you're just starting. You know, if you're new or if you're starting back, it's been a long time. This could be your purpose right here. The sheer fact that you're moving those legs, move those feet, watch the legs, look at the legs and feet move. Look at the legs and feet move. Hopefully that will encourage you to continue to move. I'm not trying to motivate anybody to get up and do anything because we're all adults, right? And I've learned not to motivate people, okay? Because you motivate people, they'll start to cling to you. They become clingy. They become obsessively drawn to you. Kind of like single white female, single black female, single white male, single black male. They become obsessive with you. So I'm not trying to motivate anybody. And motivate and encourage are synonyms. But as we know, sometimes synonyms, though alike, they have slight differences. They can. So for me, there's a slight difference in motivating. I feel like when you gotta motivate somebody, you gotta get them, you almost gotta kind of help lift them up and get them started, right? Well, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to encourage people who have already started, but they may be a little lackluster, you know, may not really be into it the way they want to be. Maybe they're not sticking to their schedule. They said twice a week for a month, and they've only done 1 week, one time. 3 weeks later, they'll do it one time. You know, that kind of thing. So I want to encourage them to stick with the plan. If it was twice a week, this week you did once. The second week you only walked once. The third week, motivate yourself to do that second walk that week. Motivate yourself, and I'll continue to encourage you. Okay? I feel like as an adult, I shouldn't have to motivate other adults unless they're my adults, my family, and my true friends, right? People that I know and love. Otherwise, people I don't know, you don't really know their true intentions, their motives. Sometimes other things start to drive them and what they desire. My thing is just to encourage them to keep doing whatever it is that they, you know, have made it up in their minds to do that's conducive to a better lifestyle, a healthier lifestyle. But motivation, I like to motivate kids, young adults. But these 35, especially these 40 plus year olds, let me tell you something. You trying to motivate them, next thing you know, you got a stalker, okay? You got a damn stalker. So motivate yourself. I've been saying that lately. Motivate your damn self. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Pull yourself up by the shoelaces. Take that first step. And what I would like to do is encourage you after you do that. Push you to keep doing so. That's it, that's all. That's it, that's all. So we not only walk and talk, but when I'm not on here most of the times, in the morning, we jog and talk, y'all. We jog and talk. We sprint and talk. We sprint and talk. Sometimes we shift it up, we switch it up. Do what you can do according to your fitness level. Stop trying to do things that you can't quite do yet. At least not the right way. Right? You want to work your body, but make sure you don't hurt your body. What good is it to exercise and to do something that you can't quite do yet? That creates the potential for injury. Okay? Work your body. Don't overexert your body. Okay? It was raining earlier. Love your dancing. You have incorporated. Yeah, chef. Bro, Got to do something around here on these YouTube streets, don't you? I appreciate that. Okay, y'all. They got this music. It's this one house. They love to play music. And you can hear every word coming out of the mouth. So I turn it back on. I unmute when I get just past them. Because it's like, right, when I pass right where you go to the back of their house, it's like, it's louder there. So I unmute as soon as I pass the house. Because I'm hoping that they don't know. YouTube, I do not own the rights to their music. It is not my music. I don't even know what that music is, okay? Thank you, Chef. You have to do something. Like, do something they won't do. Do something they won't do. Because you know, everybody can walk and talk and, but why we gotta look like robots? I don't like looking like robots. I don't like sounding like robots, right? I don't. And I saw a video the other day, Chef. Somebody damn near hurt themselves. And I laughed, but I'm glad they didn't hurt themselves. If they had, I wouldn't have laughed. If they had, I would not have laughed, okay? Hey, Lynn. Just being Lynn says, hey, Lions Pride in chat. Look, we got 2 content creators in this chat today. Y'all, please go check out my bro. Okay, he been my bro since I hit the YouTube streets. Chef Fine His Wine. He a lot of people's brother. Okay? You'll love his channel. You'll love the cooking, the celebrity news updates, and more, the celebrity interviews. Okay? Check him out. And please check out look at that, I was about to say Kicking It with Lynn. No, Just Being Lynn. I like to use people's names the correct way when they change their names. Okay? That is Just Being Lynn. All right? Beautiful soul. Listen. She always changing it up over there, y'all. I watched the video earlier today. She was over there cooking a roast. Listen. She took us to the beauty supply store. Chef says, hey, Just Being Lynn. She said, hey, fine. Hey, Chef Fine His Wine. She took us to the beauty supply store. See, that's the kind of stuff the app is for. Just good, positive vibes. You know, being free to share just a little bit with everybody without feeling like you can't. You know what you want to share and how much you want to share. But just being free to share a little bit. Let's go. Just share a little bit with everybody and feel comfortable and know that, you're helping somebody out. See, we're going to run and talk, y'all. Can they do it? Can they do it? Can we jog and talk for a minute? Just helping somebody out. Her Chef, the story he shared the other day about the baby being lost and being in the lady's yard, that was something else. I didn't see that anywhere on the news. So a lot of times, I love channels that do that. And Chef is really on top of it. Not with just celebrity news, but news like that. To me, that was kind of a sad story / feel-good story. It was sad because what in the world was that baby doing out there walking in that lady's yard? Where were the parents? I hope it wasn't a situation where, if I'm not mistaken, I think the baby was brown. And some of these adults now, they're afraid to almost even be seen on the streets, y'all. They're afraid somebody in mask gonna scoop them up just from being at the grocery store, just for having a tattoo, accuse them of being in a gang or something. And listen, let me tell you something. You know how many adults, how many males and females are former, not current, former gang members, but they still have their tattoos? Now, when you see them, of course, you don't know. So you keep your head on a swivel, okay? You be aware. But if they're not committing a crime at the time, they're not under investigation for a crime at the time, if they're just scooping them up, how long will it be before they're just scooping up citizens, American citizens, natural born citizens? Okay? Yeah, Lynn, it was sad. But it was feel good because the baby didn't get hurt. As far as I could tell, the baby wasn't hurt. And it was so feel good with the way the baby seemed so like attached to her. You know, babies have so much sense. Of course, they're drawn to their mothers, their fathers, their siblings, whoever they're at his age, whoever he's been around the longest. But that baby was probably exhausted. I'm sure he was scared. So once somebody picked him up and was sweet to him, was friendly to him, that you gotta feel good about that. You gotta feel good because I think any human being would have picked the baby up and would have, called called the authorities. But sometimes that's just the way you nurture a person, even if they're not your own child or your niece or nephew or your family member. That baby probably felt so nurtured during that time. Yes, the baby was so adorable. Yeah, he was, but it was so sad. He didn't want to let that lady go. He sure didn't. He sure didn't. Lynn says, shoot, I'm scared of being at the store. They might, okay. Oh, listen. Lynn, I'm like, what in the heck is going on? I mean, we got a tyrant right now. Have y'all noticed that no real business is being conducted to help the American citizens? No real business is being conducted. The only thing that's being conducted is him finishing some of the stuff that he wanted to start last time, but he just couldn't because he still had some sensible people around him who wouldn't let him do it. And so he realized that the last time the other way didn't work, taking them from the border or throwing them in those cages and stripping the children away. He realized that didn't work. So now he got these other evil Hitler Juniors within his administration who don't give no more of a damn than he does, messing with people's Social Security. And see, this is a misconception that a lot of people have about immigrants. When they say, oh, they don't pay taxes, they be buying all that stuff because they get so much from the government. Now, I'm not going to lie. There are some resources that they get from the government, just like there are some resources that some citizens get. Now, sometimes it does make us a little bit mad because it seems like they have more access to more resources. But I don't know where the misconception came that all immigrants don't pay taxes. Those people pay into the system, and a lot of times they can't even get the Social Security. So I don't know where that misconception came from. Maybe it's just the fact that they see them with vouchers, WIC vouchers and food stamps and, other types of vouchers that sometimes maybe we don't have access to. But listen, our people always been able to make a way. Our people always have made a way, okay? Our people always made a way. My mother taught us about the way my great-grandmother and my great-great-grandmother, who lived till I was 15, taught them how to make $1 out of 2 cents. Okay, $1 out of 2 cents. How to keep that flour and keep everything else that they had in enough supply so that the 10 kids in the family and the cousins that came over could eat. Even if you weren't eating anything but whole cakes, and a cow that may have, back in the day, our people would get cows and stuff, or pigs. They instilled that pig stuff into us during slavery time. But hey, when you got to do what you got to do, you got to do what you got to do. So in the 30s and 40s, my great-great-grandparents, they would have cows, take them to the processor. Of course, sometimes they'd take a little bit from them and stuff. They would go to the store to buy flour. They would put their hands on the scale. My great-granddaddy would tell us about that all the time. He remembered the man's name. I can't remember his name, but he remembered his name. And he would say, it took all of him not to say something when he would see him leaning on the scale, putting his hand on the scale, knowing that he had a family to feed. But then the other white patrons would come in there and get the same thing for a lot less, or get more for a lot less. So this stuff ain't that old, y'all. That's why he's saying make America great again. It's not that old. He's 78 years old. This was happening when he was coming up. This is the stuff that was happening when he was coming up. This is the way his father treated people. So he still wants it to be that way. And I don't know what I guess they act like people live to be 120 years old. All this stuff that he's doing, I guess he's setting it up for his kids and grandkids to remain in a place of superiority or something. It's crazy. Let's see. Lynn says he just exactly, Lynn, like that's when he did the tariffs that day. And then ended up lying. Well, he didn't lie. He made the stock market just bottom out, allowed his family and friends and those Congress people. See, this is what pisses me off. Y'all know Jasmine Crockett, right? There's this one old biddy on here that's always talking about Jasmine Crockett and any other African American in Congress. And then, and the Democrats in Congress about how they line their pockets, how they go there with no money, and then after like a term or so, they end up with millions. Well, does she not think the Republicans do the same damn thing? They worse about it. Because anybody in their right mind knows what the hell he did that day when he affected the stock market like that. They even came out and said they bought it. And technically it's not illegal, but for people in their positions, it's immoral. It's unethical. We didn't go out and do it. I know a few people. I have a few friends that bought some stuff. But we didn't do anything like what they did because they knew what to do. And the first thing they say is, well, someone handles that for me. We know someone handles it for you. We know an accounting firm or whoever, someone dealing with the stock market and the exchanges and all that. We know they handle it for you. He knows they handle it for you. That's why he did it. And I'm like, all he has done since he's been there is try to take. Destroy. You got people talking about their Social Security checks have been late. Some of them haven't gotten one. And all these poor people that was all for him because they didn't want to vote for a lady of color got the nerves to talk. Y'all, it's crazy. And now people are divided because some of the ones that these protests are Republicans. Of course, they always lie and say that they're paid actors, but a lot of them are Republicans. If you go to a town hall meeting with 200 people and 20% are Republicans, that means your Republican ass is messing up somewhere because Republicans don't like to be in meetings with Democrats, okay? So that means he's messing up. But he don't care because one, he feels like, hell, I can't run again, or maybe I don't have to because I'll be king. And I think the people who support him really feel like he's going to stay in there. But I'm like, are y'all that dense? So does that mean that none of you have aspirations of achieving the highest office in the land either? All these male Republicans that are putting up with this bull-ish, I guess none of them have any aspirations of ever being a president or a vice president or whatever. The vice president we got, he's so damn incompetent. He couldn't even damn hold a football trophy the other day. He couldn't even lift the football trophy. He about to tear the folks' football trophy up. Yes, prayer definitely for everyone. Yes. What Miss Lynn says, he just lining his pockets and doing his vengeance. Exactly. But God gonna get him because what he's trying to seek vengeance, but the things that he did and the things that he was found guilty of, he was guilty of. So how you gonna get retribution and you broke the law? His time coming. This is not God's plan. This is Satan and his followers. We just gotta pray. Exactly, Lynn. Lynn says, I ain't scared for real. I trust God. Come on. Okay? That's the best thing for us to do. Lynn says, love Jasmine Crockett. Exactly. Hey, Shawanda. Chef says, hey, Shawanda. And that's why they hate her. Because you got a lot of black people. Some of the black people that don't like her. It's about their ego. We told them, we said, what the hell are you doing? Y'all always talking about both sides are bad, right? So if you feel like both sides are evil, then I guess if you stay at home, that's helping the most evil side. So go ahead and vote for the less evil. If that's what it boils down to, one of them got to win. If I feel like they're both evil, I'm definitely going to vote for the less evil. Definitely. But you got some black people now regretting. I said, you think that these Caucasian people who are regretting it, they don't care nothing about you. They want to use you as a number when it's time to protest. And that's why a lot of people sat out on the April 5th protest. Because we tired, boss. We tired. Everything our people fought for in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, this tyrant is reversing. And he got to the point where he's stepping on the toes of people who worship him. And you're going to always have some clueless followers, but he's stepping on the toes of logical people. Because there are some logical people who follow him, and they truly just thought he would be in there, get in there and be, a little tough and maybe be a little mad. Y'all, look at these new cactus leaves. See those new cactus leaves? It's turning up like, those are the old ones. Those are new ones. Those are new ones. I love those cactus trees. I love the cactus trees. But I guess they just thought, well, we know how he is. He'll be a little stupid. But they didn't realize that a lot of the stuff that he did the last time that he tried to do that he couldn't do, it was because there were some old school Republicans who still had some sense about themselves, still had some respect about themselves. And they pulled his leash a little bit, said, no, you can't do that. They let him get away with a lot, but they pulled his leash a little bit. So this time he brought the ones back, the ones who let him have his way, who didn't check him, and he went and got some other nutcases. He got some other nutcases. So anybody who is a person of color or a woman who feel, he got a few women doing some stuff around the White House, but pay attention to the jobs that the women hold. Press secretary. That one he was about to give the job to, but he pulled it back because he thought he would lose a representative from her state. So he's like, no, you can't have this job. That's the type of stuff he does. No, you can't have this job. And she's so clueless, she was good with it. Well, she knew to put on a brave face in front of everybody. She wasn't good with it. This man was going to give you a job being something else as a representative of the United States. But because he was afraid that he would lose a Senate seat, he told you, nah, pump the brakes, you go back. You go back. But a lot of times women to men like that, they're Stepford wives. Y'all know I talk about Stepford wives? They'll do anything they say robotically. And some of them are just as hateful. So they'll have the press secretary job or like the attorney general. She acts, her whole demeanor is like that of a dictative male. All those women I see up there, they always try to call Michelle Obama a he, Michael. All the women that he has put in charge of something look like Dan's, Christopher's, But they always want to talk about our people. And like I said, the sad part about it is, it was our people. A lot of our people helped him. They either helped him by voting for him or by staying at home. And now we got this bullshit, okay? So I'm just waiting, Lord's will. We know the next election, is he going to have all the Republicans scared to run? And so I guess if he have all of them scared to run, he'll just be like, well, I guess I got to run again. Because he'll have all of them scared to run. This country isn't respected at all anymore. And it's so damn sad. It's not, we don't have any respect across in the world. We go from being the strongest to the least respected. Y'all, that's crazy. That's crazy. But like Lynn said, we just gotta pray and keep moving. You gotta pray and keep moving. And you gotta watch people. We gotta watch people. Like I said, a lot of us said, no, not this time. But that is what's gonna have to happen. Anybody who's been negatively affected or who knows someone who's been negatively affected, especially if that person is close to them and they love them, it's gonna take those protests. But that April 5th protest, a lot of our people said, no, we're gonna sit this one out. Because see, y'all protesting this thing here that we told y'all was gonna be HE double hockey sticks. So we're gonna let y'all handle that. Because when we want to protest, and I'm not gonna lie, we got a lot of Caucasian sisters and brothers that come out when we ask. So I didn't feel too comfortable not, participating in the protest on the 5th. But the fact that it was a lot of conservatives, I was like, nah, let them handle it. Because that's their boy. That's their boy. People can't call into the Social Security office and talk to nobody. It was already bad. Sometimes, depending on where you live, people say they have to stay on the phone forever. Can you imagine like, what, 85, 86-year-old calling into the Social Security office trying to talk to someone because they haven't received their check. And maybe they don't have a family member who's off working time to help them during those hours. Can you imagine being a family member trying to get in touch with the Social Security Department for them? And then as soon as finally you do get a call, then they tell you, oh, we got to talk to them. That kind of stuff. And you're at work. So by the time you get home to them, the office is closed. It's just a lot of BS, y'all. A lot of BS. And I know, like y'all say, we have to pray. But I do feel for those people who really going through it and struggling to just get through. Right now, he's affecting their money. There's a lot of people I've been seeing, not just Democrats, because they love to try to split people on their Democrat-Republican stuff. And see, this is what had to happen for some Democrats and Republicans to see, you can't afford to vote with this man. You can't afford to rock with this man. Literally or figuratively, you don't have the cash flow for that. He ain't worried about nobody but the rich. So now you have people who finally see whether they vote red or whether they vote blue. He ain't for me. I can't hang with him. My pay grade is not enough. Even though he's broke and always depending on everybody else and stealing, the pay grade is not high enough. So, what do? You pray. Like Lynn said, like just being Lynn said, we pray. Like Chef said, we pray. And we keep doing the things that we do, and we be grateful that, for those of us who have jobs, preferably we keep those jobs. Because, y'all, that's messed up to be working for, especially when you have a governmental job. A government job, you've been working for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and all of a sudden, some little teenage boys barely out of high school talking about cutting waste. Social Security is what came out of our checks. From the first job you had, if it was reported, it came out of your check. So then you hear rich people, millionaires and billionaires telling you to stop complaining. You got one on TV talking about his mother missed her check. She didn't complain. Well, you a freaking millionaire. What would she be complaining about? You're a millionaire. He probably takes her checks and does what he wants to do with it anyway. So, whatever you're going through financially, just keep pushing, y'all. Like we say, keep moving over here. Just keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep moving. Keep moving. When we come to a standstill and the traffic is going, what do? We keep moving. Lift those legs up. Pull those legs up. Stand in place and walk in place. March. Pull those legs up. Pull those knees up. Make sure that you stretch before and after, of course. And if you need to, stretch during your workout. Okay? You want to tone your muscles. Okay? You want to tone your muscles with some resistance weight training exercises. At least twice a week. More if you can. At least twice a week. More if you can. The toner you are, the stronger your muscles are, the longer you can do your cardio. Y'all might have heard that when he creeped up on me. The toner your muscles are, the stronger your muscles are, the longer you can do your cardio. And as always, over here in Lines Pride, what? Don't do anything you hear me say or see me do over here. If you do, you do so at your own risk. We keep it light. We keep it mild. Okay? We don't do a whole lot, but we do what we do. So anything that you see me do or hear me say on my shorts or on these live videos, you do so at your own risk if you choose to do those things. Always, always what? Contact your primary healthcare provider. Okay? Be that your nurse, practitioner, your physician, your physician's assistant, right? If you've had injuries in the past, your occupational therapist, your physical therapist, your nutritionist, your dietitian, right? Your specialty doctors for any special issues that you may have, okay? Your psychologist, your psychiatrist. All of those people make up your healthcare team. All of those people. Any one or combination of those people make up your healthcare team. You are the atom. No, they are the atom. They surround you. I'm trying to be nosy, y'all. trying to pay attention to what's going on around me. So you're the nucleus, right? You're the nucleus. They're the atom. They form a circle around you, or they're the cell. They form the circle around you. You're the nucleus. You're the headquarters. You're the most important part, right? So listen to them, communicate with them, converse with them, talk with them, collaborate with them. Make sure that the lines of communication are always open between you and your healthcare team and between the members of your healthcare team. Hey, James Money 615, how you doing? Happy Thoughtful Thursday to you. Happy Thankful Thursday to you. Happy Thirsty Thursday. And thirsty doesn't mean a negative thing. Shit, we might be thirsty for real. Remember to drink plenty of water if you are generally healthy. You know, I'm not going to push that drinking plenty of water because I see so many people saying that. And you never know. You have to be careful of the things that you say and the way that you say them. If you are professionally trained and educated, you would know that. Generally healthy. Maybe you can drink the 6 to 8, maybe 10 8-ounce cups or glasses of water a day. If you are on any type of restrictions, right? It's getting hot. If you work outside, you exercise a lot, you're a little bit thirstier. So if you're on any type of restrictions, check with your doctor, check with your healthcare team to see if you can increase it just a little bit, okay? Because sometimes people are on restrictions. So if you're not on any restrictions and you're generally healthy, it's good to get you 6 to 8 glasses of water a day, okay? And if you work outside in the sun, if you exercise a lot, maybe even 10 glasses a day, okay? 10 8-ounce glasses or cups a day, okay? Because you're sweating, right? Your body needs the water anyway, but you're sweating, you're working, you're moving. Keep moving. Remember to keep moving. Move consistently and be persistent about it. Remember, in all that you do, moderation and modification. M&M. Moderation and modification are key. Move with a purpose. Whether you're just starting, restarting, changing, or stopping an exercise habit, plan, schedule, routine, or regimen. You want to always consult your primary healthcare provider before doing that. Before starting, changing, restarting, stopping, any of those things, you want to consult with them, okay? I don't know a healthcare provider that doesn't want you to move. Now, how you move, the way you move will differ according to your fitness level. But whatever your fitness level is, hopefully it will improve. The more you move, the more it'll improve. The more you move, the more it'll improve. That's the goal. That's the goal. Moderation and modification are key. Modification is key when it comes to your exercises, what you can and cannot do, and as well as your diet. Moderation is key. We think of modification, first we may think of exercises, but sometimes you have to modify your diet, right? Right. Moderation, we think of when we, cheat a little bit. That's key, but moderation is also key with your exercises. If you've had an injury, you're rehabbing, they want you to go through therapy, but you can't go into therapy acting like you did before the injury, okay? And if you're doing therapy and 12 reps in a set is too much for you, you let your therapist know if you feel any discomfort, and that way they can moderate that. Moderation. You can do that exercise, but you can't quite do it the way they want you to do it yet. So we're going to change it a little bit. Modification and moderation, okay? So you guys, look, don't forget to do your mental exercises, your crossword puzzles, your games. Play games with your family, right? Sudoku puzzles, fill in the blank, Family Feud, okay? Get those mental exercises in as well to help stimulate the brain, okay? To help stimulate your brain. The same way you want to do your exercises, your physical exercises, that aren't just for your physical fitness, they're for your what? Emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical health, okay? They say that your health is your wealth. What do we say over here in Lions Pride? Your health and fitness are your wealth. Your health and fitness are your wealth. Look at the legs move. Watch the legs move. Hopefully you're encouraged to get up and move your legs, your arms. Put a little pep in your step, one step at a time, one foot in front of the other. Put a little twist in your walk, okay? Believe it or not, there are different cadences to the way you walk that are better for you. That are better for you. So put a little pep in your step, a little twist in your walk. All right? Get out here and do what's best for you. That'll help you to become a better person, to help you feel better. Because that's the goal, right? To feel better. Listen to your body. Listen to your body. Pay attention to your body. Let your healthcare providers know how you feel. Whether it's good, not so good, let them know. When you're doing any exercise, if you need to slow down and or stop, do so. Slow down and or stop, do so. But remember, move with a purpose. Walk with a purpose. If you're just starting, this is okay, this is a purpose. This pace is a purpose. This pace right here can be your purpose. The next person who's been doing this for a while, this may be their purpose. This pace is their purpose, right? And if you've really been doing it, this is your purpose. This pace is your purpose. This pace could be your purpose, right? We're not going to run because we don't want the phone to fly across the street. We don't want to tear the phone up. Y'all know I need a new phone. I said that a couple of months ago. But look, we're going to wear this phone out, okay? So don't let your purpose, don't try to compare your purpose to somebody else's purpose. Don't try to compare your goals to someone else's goals. Don't let somebody else's goals be your driving force. All right? You cannot compete where you don't compare. Don't let somebody else's goals be your driving force. Now, you may have similar goals. Could be weight loss, improve your fitness, increase your stamina, your endurance. But people are different. You may get there even the same way. But don't let somebody else's goal and the way they reach their goal be your challenge. Okay? Don't let that be your challenge. Do you. You know how fit you are. You know what you're capable of doing. You got to start where you are. And if you've been doing it for a while, you know that too. Again, you know where you are. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, you know where you are. But only compete with who you are and who you were earlier today, yesterday, the day before, weeks before, months before, years before. Because you cannot compete with someone you don't compare with. That's how you end up not really accomplishing your goals. Because you're too focused on somebody else's goals. You're too focused on somebody else's goals. Creativity. Be creative. Originality is everything. We can have 10 people doing the same exact thing. But if they have any pride in themselves, they're going to want to make it a little bit different. They're going to want to put their own spin on it. Don't let somebody else's goals be your goals. The way to get to your goals may not be the way that they get to theirs. The weekend is coming up. It's Friday, y'all. Is it payday for you? If it's payday for you, listen, treat yourself. Y'all know I tell you that every day. Treat yourself. We're marching. We're pulling these legs up. Get these joints to working. The synovial cavities of your joints create your synovial fluid. That synovial fluid prevents your joints from scrubbing against each other. Now, if you have certain conditions like arthritis or other joint issues, you want to modify the way you move. You don't want to move the wrong way. You don't want to move too much. It may technically be the right way, but not the right way for you because you may have joint issues that you need to be concerned about, right? That's why moderation and modification. You can still exercise. You can still move. You need to, but you just want to be careful about it. You want to work your body, work your body. Make sure you don't hurt your body. Work your body, work your body. Don't overexert your body. When you hear that popping sound in the joints, that air, that crepitus, when you hear that, pop, pop, pop. Sometimes that's just your joints releasing gas, kind of like gas bubbles. But sometimes it may be a result of your joints scrubbing, okay? So you want to make sure that you move, but you want to contact your healthcare provider so that you can know how is the best way to move for you. We've been on here for 57 minutes, all right? So we're going to rock out for another 3 minutes, actually about 2.5. I'll say 3. We want to go like a minute or 2 over the hour. And thank you to my bro Stefan, my bro Chef Finest Wine, Just Being Lynn. Again, please check out Chef Finest Wine if you happen to come across this live replay. Please check out Just Being Lynn. Shawanda, thank you for coming into the live. Jay's Money 615, I saw you. I saw you. And I think that was everybody. See how nice it is to be able to name everybody you're alive. See, some people so stuck on monetization, they want a chat full of people. And hey, if that's what works for them, that's what works for them. But I like having a cozy feel. And thank you guys for providing us with that. So on that note, y'all, we're about to close and get out of here. And by the time we make these closing words, we will be right at an hour or 2, a minute or 2 over. Y'all know what? Don't let bother people bother you. Don't let stress people stress you out. And if you find yourself in a misery lounge, grab your grip and go. Okay? Grab your stuff and get up out of there. You be over in there thinking you having a good time, and you probably really are having a good time. You know? If you go into a nice lounge, cool, hang out. But if you find yourself in a misery lounge, they say misery loves company, right? Sometimes, a lot of the times it's true. But sometimes people just like making other people miserable. So if they start to unzip those sheep's clothing and the wolves start to come out, grab your grip and go. Get up out of there, okay? Get up out of there. Grab your grip and go. Get up out of there. If they come into your lounge, your space, your personal space, your home, your platform, wherever it is, GTGAG, let them grab their grip and go. Put them up out of there. And nothing wrong with putting them out of your ecosystem. You want equilibrium in your ecosystem, okay? You want complete equilibrium in your ecosystem. So put them out of there if you need to. Put them out if you need to. And you get out from the places that you don't need to be, okay? Get out from there. Get away. Get away, get away, get away. Remember the R words this weekend? You guys know I often stress exercise an hour a day, or however your doctor has come up with the plan for you, whether it's 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 15 minutes. Because what? Your purpose is, it may be different from mine. Mine may be different from the next person. The next person may be different from mine, from yours. So, I encourage an hour, but you got to do what your healthcare team has told you you need to do. Make sure you do it. And along with that, treat yourself daily. Just 10 to 15 minutes of some me time. Get you some me time in. 10, 15 minutes of me time. Treat yourself, okay? And throughout the day, 3 to 5 times a day, take some deep breaths in and out. Inhale, pull from deep, deep, deep. Then exhale, release. Do that when you get up in the morning. Maybe on your first break at work around 10, 11. Maybe around 2. Whatever your lunch hour is, maybe a little bit after that. When you get off, And then before you go to bed at night, however much water you can drink, let a little bit of that water be the first thing you do in the morning after thanking God for allowing you to see another day. Get you some water. Before you go to bed, get you some water, unless you have to get up a lot through the night. Okay? Don't drink too much, maybe 4 to 6 ounces. Just get a little bit in. Okay? But if drinking any water at all causes you to have to get up a lot, just make sure you get you a good cup in the morning. Okay? We want to talk about the R words, as we always do. Relax this weekend, especially if you haven't gotten a chance during the week. Release energy, release the things that got on your nerves. Just release whatever. Relate to the things that you can, to those that you can't. You're relating time. Resolve those issues that you can. Those that you can't, God will resolve for you anyway. Remember who you are. Reinvest in yourself. Repair. Give yourself a chance to repair. Every night that we go to sleep, our body wants to repair. But a lot of times we just don't get the proper rest. So over the weekend, if you don't work weekends, try to repair. And even if you do, if you have a little bit of time, if the kids you don't have to take the kids to school if you have kids, or if you don't have to, do some running around with your parents, or, whatever. Just try to find you 15, 30 minutes a day during the weekend, if you can't during the week, for some me time. Remember who you are. Remember some of the things that brought you joy. If you haven't done them in a while, revisit those things. Reincorporate those things into your schedule somehow. Replenish your heart, mind, body, and soul. Restore some things. Reevaluate. Do some self-reevaluation. Do some reevaluation about the things around you, the people around you, the situations around you. Revoke. Sometimes you got to revoke some privileges that you've given people because they've been mistreating those privileges. Right? Revoke isn't such a bad word. It can be, but doesn't have to be. Reorganize. Re-implement. Reconstruct. All right? Reevaluate. Refocus, reset, and restart. Remember that 4-letter word self. Self-love, self-commitment, self-dedication, self-improvement, self-respect. It can be a prefix to a lot of good words. Selfish, okay? Selfishness. It's not always negative to be selfish. Hopefully you put God first, then family, and then yourself. Sometimes after God, you need to put yourself first so that you can continue to do the things that you do for your family, right? All right. So you guys know what? It's an hour and 4 minutes, so we out of here. I wish you peace, positivity, and prosperity. And you know why? Without peace, there's what? Chaos. Without positivity, there's negativity. Wherever chaos and negativity roam, live together, hold hands together, party together, that could prevent you from prospering to your fullest potential. We all want to prosper to our fullest potential so that we can walk purposely and peacefully, patiently into our purpose. You want to walk purposefully into your purpose, right? Purposely, peacefully, patiently into your purpose. And I will see you guys hopefully on tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, y'all. On the next Let's Walk and Talk Lions Pride original. Bye, y'all.